It's Diwali and there is a glimmer of light emerging for the economy. Discretionary spending, even though it remains sectorally patchy, has begun to show signs of some revival. According to consultants Red Seer, retailers including Amazon, Walmart and Flipkart saw a 55% jump in online sales from a year ago to $4.1 billion. This is from data compiled between the 15th to the 21st of October. Now, the 9-day Navratri period had shown a sharp surge in vehicle registrations relative to the previous months, and the Federation of Automobile Dealers Association expects the upward trend to continue despite sales being significantly below last year's levels. Overall manufacturing activity is also on the rise, as reflected in the IHS Market Purchasing Managers Index, which rose to a 14-year high for the month of October. So on today's show, our reporters hit the ground to find out how the festive season is shaping up beyond the numbers. First up, we've been reporting how the real estate sector has seen sales picking up. There has been a spike this festive season, and this has largely been due to low home loan interest rates, pan-India and stamp duty cuts in states like Maharashtra. However, behind this stunning sales recovery is a story of price wars and big-ticket discounting by real estate developers. My colleague Jude Saneth reports on how the desperation to sell is overturning pricing dynamics in Chennai's traditionally stable housing market. Take a look.
A few years ago, Jaimal moved from Trichy to Chennai and began housing his family of 3 in a rental property. Today, this pharmaceutical executive has realized his dream of owning a house, and it was quite unexpected because he had not foreseen historically low interest rates or the fact that an almost too good to be true deal from a developer would let him book a 3 BHK that came with a price tag of nearly 1 crore rupees for just 84 lakh rupees.
Right now for about 10 to 20 years I'm going to be in Chennai, where I'm going to work here. So anyhow I'm going to stay in a rental apartment where I'm going to pay the rent. So the amount which I'm paying for rent, it's not going to be benefiting me in any way. So that's the only thing which stuck in our mind to go for our own house.
Jaimal is not alone. Thousands of buyers in Chennai have begun putting money in quality, ready to occupy residential real estate this festive season. Homes that developers are desperate to sell.
With some of the biggest developers in Chennai registering zero sales during the lockdown months, the industry here has one priority: to sell and then sell some more. But with little or no support from the state government in terms of stamp duty cuts, the real estate market has taken it upon themselves to get rid of existing stocks through a series of deals and discounts.
Developers are offering discounts of 5 to 20%, with premium properties fetching better deals. Incentives like waivers on floor-rise charges and free car parking are also being thrown in.
In our history of Naveens, we have never offered discounts. We have gone ahead, advertised about 10% off, which is actually we are taking a beating. It's not that we had huge margins to 7 years of suppressed market. We have been running on very thin, wafer-thin margins.
The formula is working, even if only for the moment. Savills India expects the October-December quarter pan-India to see a 10 to 15% rise in quarter-on-quarter residential sales. Data from Anurag indicates that Chennai alone could see a 20 to 25% spike in sales volumes in the festive quarter. Already such discounts have helped developers like Casa Grande register sales worth 300 crore rupees in a week from just 2 projects. The company has also begun waging a price war with competition.
We normally are lower by about 10% in comparison to the nearest competition of any reasonably decent builder. Since we are already lower, so customers are not really expecting us to really be discounting heavily. But we still have pushed our price consciously by about 2%.
Today, Indian real estate is clearly a buyer's market. But developers hope that while discounts will get the ball rolling when it comes to getting rid of inventory and sparking a real revival in terms of pricing and demand is not a long way away. In Chennai, Jude Saneth.
Well, that is the big hope. Will the real estate sector see a revival? Now, malls in the National Capital Region have started seeing a recovery in footfalls, and as shoppers return, malls have also begun to launch new stores. Is the return of footfalls leading to a surge in business? Timdeep Jaipuria gets us this ground report from the capital.
The state of Delhi is in midst of what experts are calling the third wave of COVID virus. Over the last few days, we are seeing cases spiking to beyond 6,000 cases per day. as people step out for festive shopping. I'm headed to some of the top shopping destinations and malls in the region of Delhi NCR for a status check. We are here at Select City Walk Mall in Saket, one of the most popular destinations for shopping in this city. According to the mall management, the footfalls have been slowly and steadily improving from about 10,000 in August to about 30,000 as of today.
It's steadily rising from 3,000 people a day. Now it's gone to 20,000 on a weekday and 30,000 on a weekend. So it is steadily improving. The festive season is also helping. Even all brands have also put together their new collections and new attractions for people to pull in. Only challenge remaining is the entertainment, where like cinemas have recently opened, and the entertainment center and the gyms, they are very, very thinly populated at the moment, and they will take little time to come back. Rest of the mall is like coming back, especially some categories like beauty, personal care, electronics, liquor, and takeaway food has grown very, very rapidly. But some categories like formal shoes, formal clothing, they are still taking a little time to come.
Not just shoppers, as business picks up, brands too are keen to launch new stores and collections.
We see a certain resurgence in both the business sentiment as well as the shopper sentiment. And people, while they're observing social distancing and all the necessary, safeties, but we see resurgence of stores opening. Uniqlo, which had opened earlier pre-COVID, is now resurgent in their numbers. New stores like Desigual, Go Sport, North India's debut has happened just now here at DLF Avenue. And the shopper sentiment in terms of families and all those, and groups of people seems to be returning now to the DLF Avenue.
As economy recovers and consumers return, both mall owners and retailers are hopeful of a good festive season.
We have almost over 50% recovery of consumer pre-COVID times. People are coming to shop, they want to come, they want to eat, and we've opened new brands. There are more brands opening. Uniqlo has just launched, and people are showing a lot of confidence in coming back, shopping, and having a good time.
Even as cinemas are yet to report healthy footfalls, mall owners are confident that the return of the consumer is not part of revenge buying. Rather, it is an attempt to return back to normalcy post a long hibernation. In New Delhi with camera person Saroj Singh, this is Timsi Jaipuria.
Well, let's head from retail to the auto sector. After a 27% decline in two-wheeler registrations reported by FADA, that's the Association of Dealers, in the month of October, November looks poised to be a month that arrests that decline on a yearly basis. Now, auto dealers and OEMs expect November to bring some traction in the commuter segment of the two-wheeler market, which forms the bulk, about 75% of the total two-wheeler sales. However, there is an important caveat. Alicia Sachdev is here to tell us more about that. Alicia.
There is definitely buzz in the two-wheeler showroom I am standing in, and that gives you an indication that November is likely to see an improvement in registrations, not only sequentially but also on a yearly basis, which is important considering the 27% decline in registrations that two-wheelers saw in the month of October. But there will be two distinct trends that will emerge considering the region that we look at. Now, for Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu, for instance, there has been a sharp uptick in demand in the festive season in October, but it's poised to increase further in November. And in fact, dealers in these regions have been experiencing severe supply constraints, which means that there is significant unfulfilled demand as well. The reasons for demand, even in the commuter segment, include factors such as lack of viable public transport options in major metros like Mumbai and Chennai. On the other hand, by contrast, the regions of central and northern India have seen a severe battering of demand in major commuter segments or the mass markets like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar because of factors of job losses, uncertain incomes, and therefore a lack of availability of finance. In fact, dealers in these states are saddled with inventory leading up to 55 to 60 days, and bookings that they would have expected, considering this kind of inventory buildup, have not come in. So therefore, we will see that demand will be lower considering the festive period taken all together from Navratri to Diwali. But November particularly will see improvement owing to the fact that the festivals of Dhanteras and Diwali fall in this month this year. What remains a concern, however, with dealers across the board is that what happens to demand after Diwali and the last 2 weeks of November, therefore will be critical to watch for signs of sustainable demand.
Well, that's the outlook as far as the two-wheeler space is concerned. But let's talk about aviation. Earlier this week, the government allowed domestic airlines to deploy up to 70% of their flight capacity ahead of the Diwali weekend. CNBC TV 18 learns that the centre is now open to the idea of increasing the capacity even further. Anu Sharma joins us now with the latest. Anu, what are airlines telling you?
Well, sources have told us that the government is open to further increasing the capacity in the domestic aviation space beyond 70%, and it will review the current flight operations before making a decision in that direction. Remember, on 11th November, the government increased or approved the domestic airlines to operate with a maximum capacity of 70% from 60% earlier in the domestic aviation space. We spoke to industry sources, and all of them say that airlines have increased the capacity on different routes after the government's decision to increase the capacity to 70%. In fact, airlines have deployed a significant amount of new capacity on the metro routes. We spoke to Ease My Trip. They have said that they have seen airlines adding maximum flights on routes like Delhi-Mumbai, Bangalore-Delhi, Kolkata-Patna, Kolkata-Delhi. So these are some of the routes. Goa-Bombay, that is another route which is gaining a lot of attraction as far as, Ease My Trip is concerned. The recent government data shows that domestic passengers on November 11th, that number reached to 52% of 2019 levels, and the daily flight number was also at 64% of 2019 levels. So that is a significant improvement, but we'll have to wait and watch as to what is the response over this weekend of Diwali as to find out whether government increases the domestic capacity beyond 70% or not. For now, back to you.
All right, Anu, many thanks for joining us. And you can catch more of our festive season special stories on our website, cnbctv18.com. Catch up on all of that over the weekend. We will take a break, but when we return, there's not much light at the end of the tunnel for local artisans making diyas in Mumbai. A special report from the Kumbharwada on the other side. Welcome back. You're watching the Festival of Ideas. Dharavi's Kumbharwada, well known for producing colourful festive pots and handmade diyas both for domestic and exports markets, is seeing a lacklustre Diwali. There has been a substantial drop in demand induced by the fear of coronavirus and the lockdown, coupled with a sharp rise in material costs that has pushed this community of potters to the brink. Archana Shukla reports from Dharavi.
जितना मांगता उतना बिक्री नहीं हो रही है।
4 months ago, when I had come to the pottery market here in Dharavi, in Mumbai, it wore a deserted look. The shops were closed, the business was completely down. Even when, post the lockdown, things started, shops started opening up, and shopkeepers were angry, both because of the fear of the virus and of the stigma attached to a place like Dharavi. Businesses were not operating.
The festive season has brought some life back to Dharavi's Kumbharwada, which supplies diyas or earthen lamps across the country. But sales are still just 50% of a normal year.
50% कम हो गए, क्योंकि पहला एक्सपोर्ट तो गया, कॉर्पोरेट गया, ये साल कोई नहीं आया है। सब जो इलेक्शन वाला रहता है वो बांटने वाला, वो उससे भी बांटा नहीं है कुछ। हम लोग पूरा साल मेहनत करता है, इसमें करीबन 3-4 हज़ार पब्लिक ये दिए के अंदर काम करती है। जो एक का ही ग्रुप रहता है वो, ये दीपावली का मेन सीजन रहता है, उसमें करोड़ों के हिसाब से पंती बनाते हैं हम लोग, तो वो हिसाब से सेलिंग नहीं है। पहले पब्लिक एक बार आके एक बार में स्टॉक करते थे, अभी पब्लिक 2-2 दिन में आके वो माल का स्टॉक करके लेके जाती है। मतलब उसका बिक्री होता है तो वो हमसे माल लेके जाती है।
पहला होता था हम लोग का बिक्री ऐसा उतना ही 25 या 30 मिलता था। अभी ये साल में क्या होएगा क्या नहीं होएगा।
25-30 हजार रुपए मिलता था। अभी इस साल क्या लग रहा है?
अभी ये साल में 2-3 हजार का ही भर के लेके जा रहा है।
ट्रेन भी बंद है, अभी आना बहुत मुश्किल हो रहा है। अभी टैक्सी वाला भी बहुत भाड़ा ले रहा है, अभी हमारा खर्चा भी बहुत हो रहा है, इसलिए ट्रेन चालू करने बोल रहे हैं।
Lack of public transport is one big challenge that most small businesses, roadside vendors are facing.
60 रुपये में आ जाते थे 30 रुपये में, अभी इधर कितना 400 रुपये आने में लगा है, 1000 रुपये जाने में लगेगा, सब 1400 रुपये पड़ जाएगा। ऐसे कितना मेरा 60 रुपये में 100 रुपये में आना जाना सब दोनों हो जाता था। इस वजह से हम नहीं ले रहे, पता नहीं लॉकडाउन है लेगा कि नहीं लेगा। दूसरी बात है कि पब्लिक भी कम है।
अच्छा।
और महंगाई है, पैसे भी नहीं है।
अच्छा।
इस वजह से लेकिन लेके जा रहे हैं तो ऊपर वाला है।
तो आपको ये डर है कि आपका कस्टमर महंगा वाला आइटम खरीदेगा कि नहीं?
हाँ।
Shopkeepers here are telling us that corporate gifts used to be a big chunk of what they did during Diwali, but that has substantially come down.
Sell products worth not less than 7 to 8 lakhs.
Okay.
Yeah, as
Just
an
during
NGO.
Diwali.
Yeah, as an NGO. But this year, it's not even in thousands still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's that bad.
That's not good news for the nearly 2,000 Potter families who live in these congested bylanes of Dharavi slums and depend on Diwali sales.
घर में सब माल पड़ा है, कुछ धंधा बंदा नहीं, घर में तकलीफ बहुत है। आका साल गया अभी लॉकडाउन में, कुछ कमाई ही नहीं है।
अच्छा, अभी भी
पूरा बंद ही था पूरा।
अभी भी कर्जा लिया आपने?
हाँ, तो अभी भी ऐसे ही पड़ा है, कोई देने वाला तो नहीं है, सवाल ही नहीं। अभी भट्टी वाले को तो सब रोकड़ा देना पड़ेगा, जलाने का कपड़ा सबका।
The worst hit have been the traditional potters, who are battling spikes in input costs and dismal demand in this otherwise dying trade of diya making.
जो मिल था गुजरात चला गया, मिट्टी गुजरात से आता है, अब लोगों को महंगा पड़ता है सब। मुंबई में भी जगह ही नहीं है, बाहर से आता हम लोग महंगा पड़ता है मटेरियल, इसमें कुछ प्रॉफिट अभी है ही नहीं।
प्रॉफिट नहीं है इसमें।
अभी हम लोग करता है लेकिन बच्चे लोग नहीं करेगा ये।
The diya makers here in Dharavi, the families who actually make diyas to light up Diwali for everyone else, are facing a very dire situation, particularly this year. While the business of diya making is actually going down for people like Manji, this year has been extremely tough because raw material prices has actually gone up 80%, but the costs of diyas have not. And in fact, people are buying less. Like Manji was pointing out, the revival, particularly for this class of diya makers, is going to be a very tough ride. With camera person Bharat Kori and Deepak Jangle, this is Archana Shukla here in Dharavi.
Well, like you just saw there, like Dharavi's Potters Market, the lights market in Mumbai has also witnessed lackluster demand this festive season. Even Diwali sales have remained weak. Lack of public transportation has also led to a dent in demand. Yash Chen brings us more.
The street which you see behind me, also known as the Lights Market of Mumbai, does not look anything like it does at this time of the year. A fall in COVID-19 cases in the month of November surely got these lights dealers hopeful of customers returning and making their purchase for the festive season. But has that happened? Let's find out.
दो 5% की पब्लिक है और ये अगर कोई भी माल बेच रहा है तो वो इतना कि उनका पैसा निकल रहा है।
लगभग 20 to 30% खाली बिजनेस रह गया है। रिटेल एवरेज डेली सेल समझो ना, ऐसा होता है 20-25 हज़ार का होता था, ये बार अभी 10,000 5,000 का हो गया।
गणपति से नवरात्रि तक तो 5% भी काम नहीं था। अब दिवाली का थोड़ा बहुत काम दिख रहा है, मतलब बहुत अगर काम हुआ बहुत तो 10% काम ही होगा।
Customers from suburban Mumbai bring significant sales to the light market every festive season. But this time, with local trains not operating, demand has simply derailed. Also, online sales have eaten into the already bleak festive demand.
साउथ बॉम्बे में 25% काम होता है और सबब में 75% काम होता है, लेकिन ट्रेन नहीं चालू होने की वजह से सबब के ना तो कस्टमर आ रहे ना तो शॉपकीपर आ रहे.
According to industry estimates, India imports festive lights worth 1,000 crore annually. This festive season, it would also be about government's call of going vocal for local, but the test will be difficult since these markets continue to remain flooded with Chinese manufactured lights.
चाइना की फिनिशिंग ज़्यादा थोड़ी बहुत अच्छी रहती है, उसकी फिनिशिंग वगैरह, लेकिन अपना इंडिया का भाव क्या ज़्यादा रहते हैं. हम भी प्रीफर करते हैं चाइना का, हम लोग कट करके वही कर ले लेते हैं, दो लेते हैं.
Oil diya is better or a candle diya is better. Correct. We will not go for Chinese products. Never, never.
While we are seeing a recovery in some sectors, many challenges continue. But here's hoping that the year ahead brings everyone a lot more in terms of demand and improves the outlook. From all of us here on CNBC TV 18, wishing all our viewers a very happy Diwali. Stay safe and may the new year bring you health and prosperity. We leave you with some important market lessons from the masters of the Lal Street. Here's Saurabh Mukherjee and Hiren Ved with tips for investors.
Hi there, this is Saurabh Mukherjee from Marcellus Investment Managers, and I'm here to wish all of CNBC's viewers a very happy Navratri. Over the years, my colleagues and I have realized that successful investing is less about knowing P multiples. It's more about being in a calm, collected frame of mind, being in a safe place emotionally, being in a secure place emotionally, because from there you can make rational, you can make successful investment decisions. And it's in that context that festive seasons and festivities are actually enormously important. You get the comfort, the confidence, the security of knowing that your friends and family and your community is with you. And in that context, I hope that all of you have a great Navratri. You have some delightful company, some enjoyable festivities, and you recharge your batteries. We all need that given the challenges we faced in the last 6-7 months. So wishing you all the very best for Navratri. Thank you.
No matter what the odds are, finally, patience and conviction is what pays in long-term investing. And I think that one thing which makes me very happy is the adaptability of the Indian entrepreneur to face any odds that is thrown at it. And I think that should give us the confidence that the dynamism of our entrepreneurs and the continuous reforms will lead to significant wealth creation in India's stock market. So be patient, have conviction, and bet on India.